All right, hi. This is me. My name is Aman, and today we are going to do some discussion on chess. And today we are going to talk about not just the my. I'm not going to play any game, and we're going to talk about some openings and why openings are required. Because chess is not just a game of mind. Like it is a game of mind in the middle game and in the end game. And in the end game, mostly chess is very important. You have to put all your brain, you have to utilize all your time. And uh, in the opening, because every game begins with the same position of black and white, you can learn some principles, you can learn some ideas, you can learn some moves, so you can develop yourself and you can prepare कि कैसे play करना है. Okay, so that's why opening theory exists. So it's also a game of remembering things, remembering patterns. Okay, not just pure logic, because if you have to use your logic, the time constraint will kill you. You will be lost by the time. Okay, so sometimes you have to remember many things. And today I'm going to open with the openings. Generally, most preferred opening are D4, E4 openings. Okay, E4 openings. But the opening that I currently play so much, it's a opening which is not E4 or D4. It's a sideline opening and not very popular in grandmasters, but it's a good opening, and that starts with F4. We call it bird opening. Okay, now we're going to learn about the basics of bird opening and all the concept. I'll try to cover it under 5 6 minutes, and if it goes over 5 6 minutes, then it's also fine. I'm going to discuss two three major ways. The best way, the way we play word opening is by starting with f4, and now opponent can do two three things, and the most wise decision is like this pawn is controlling this particular square, like this square. It can take on this square if something comes, right? So this is our plan, but by doing this, we are leaving the center open for the opponent, and if opponent is wise enough, he must capitalize on that. Already we are a little down. Like starting with this opening is not standard as per the Stockfish. Stockfish always prefers the opening with d4 or e4, but we are doing this sideline, and this is bird opening, right? And now after we have committed this pawn, we want to have more attention, like more control on the center. So we put knight f3, right? And now opponents have more time. He can now grab more center by doing this pawn, and now these four squares are controlled by these two pawns, and that's a very wise decision. That's a very advantage for white. I mean, advantage for black. And now what our next goal is to put just the pawn e3 to stop him coming from here. Like if he comes, um, like his pawn loses all the power that they had in center. Now we can like go ahead, we can make plans, right? So this is our plan, but he's not going to obviously commit this pawn to d4, because now it's time for the development. And if he develops his knight here, so what we can do, we can just pin the knight to the king, right? This is our plan. And if they want to throw our bishop, like they can just move the pawn ahead, but it is already a slight mistake. Because why it's a mistake, I'll tell you. Because we now take the knight, and now these isolated pawns are now doubled, and doubled pawn are not good. They are not good, right? Because double pawn control less square, so the when a pawn is stacking behind another pawn, it's not a good scenario, right? So if you are getting a chance to double someone's pawn, like your opponent's pawn, then it's a good decision. Not always, but most of the time, like almost always, it's a good decision to double their pawns. And now you can, opponent can, like now you can just castle. Simply you can castle, and you can start attack this side, or you can just put the bishop in the diagonal. Like if they develop their knight, you can push the pawn, and if they try to, like, is still not a good decision. You know why? this is this is Okay, what? Wait a second. Wait a second. Is this a? Okay, this is the move, right? This is the move. What if I take this side? Like black, white is better as of now. But white is better, right? So if they move this pawn, this is very rare. Opponent don't want to move; they just want to develop. So they're going to push the pawn. Like if they move this, you can take it. You can take it. I don't know why this is a huge disadvantage, and this must be some complex, crazy line. This is not the way. This is the reason why it's a disadvantage. Well, I'm not certain about this. I have to look through this. Like taking this is bad because they can take like this, and now we can keep the bishop in the diagonal, but then okay, this is the reason. This is the reason, right? Now I know. Like they will get the chance to undouble their pawns. That's why you don't want to take this. Otherwise, their pawns will be undoubled, and you don't want that because you sacrificed your bishop for the knight to double their pawn, and you don't want to undouble them, right? So simply, you should like place the bishop on the diagonal, right? And now, if they want, they can take it. They can take it simply. Um, this is a good decision. Taking is not a good decision because now they can like take it. It's also fine, but the best way to win this position is to move your pawn, and now you can take this bishop, like take this pawn. I mean, like by moving your queen, right? And if they do something like this, you can move the queen, and how can they defend it like this? Oh, it will be hanging their rook. So it's also not a good decision. So they move like this, this. This is a fork. Okay, so like right now, I'm also learning along with recording. Like I have never been through these lines, but when I play game, I am through some lines. But like this is I'm going ahead of opening. This is not the part of opening. This is the part of middle game. But you should learn. You should know like these ideas, like taking the pawn and doubling there. This is the one of the idea. And now moving to the second line. When the opponent does not play this, like not this, they can start with this. Okay, we again have to do this. They can start with developing this knight first. We can go with this. They can now develop this knight, but they know this is an attack. But now they have not committed this pawn, so we can like they can do this, and we still can do this. If knight is any time on c6, and if your bishop is possible to go like in b5, then you should go. It's a wise move, right? It's a wise opening move. And now they can like it's the same position. Like why would they prefer to like they can just do this, and still it's doubling of pawn. Whether way, anyway, like they can either do with the d pawn or b pawn. It's still doubling, right? So if anytime you see knight on c6, just jump with the pawn like bishop b5, right? This is a good way you can play for the bird opening. And now the gambit line I'm going to show you. If you played f4, controlling this square, but the opponent neglects your threat and he moves like e5. So what you're gonna do? Take on e5. And now opponent is being very smart and is going to gambit another pawn. I don't know. I think this is called as Form's gambit, right? Form's gambit. You should take another pawn. And now, if he takes with the bishop, and that's what he will do. Otherwise, this is just a bad opening. They don't know, and they should take with the bishop. And now, it's not a very losing thing. Like just zero point 0.4 up, white is zero point 0.4 better. And if white did a mistake such as like white thinks okay it's fine, just develop this bishop on the diagonal, then it's mate in 3. And why? Because this is a very strong situation. Like this because this diagonal is very weak. When the king is attacked, there are no defenders. He can attack like this, and now the only way to defend is g3, and now he can sacrifice, and that's a mate. That's simply a mate. Or they can do like reverse, like doing this. If they don't want to sacrifice, they don't want to be cool, they can do like this. Okay, so uh, the way you are not gonna fall in this trap is by moving the knight to f3, right? Now it blocks any move such as like queen d1, queen d8 to h4, right? It blocks it, but they can still play like this. If you move something like this, then it's again a very bad situation because you have to deal with these two guns around this diagonal, and you like it's literally like if you move something like this, it's again the same scenario. It's game up, boom, right? So you have to be very careful when you have to when situations are like this. Now you can play pawn here. You know why? Because now if they take, we are opening this file for the rook. Okay, so this is not a wise decision. So we move g3, and if they move there, now we can jump with this. Because if they take, we take, and rook is defending h4, right? So this is how we are going to play this opening in the forms gambit. And by far, these ideas are good. And there's one move that when they move the they move the bishop to d7 because they don't want to double their pawn, and we can meanwhile castle, and until and unless they like push with this pawn, we are not going to take the knight. And if they push with this pawn, we have so many cases like we can either take, it's fine, it's totally fine, it's equal, or we can just fall back. Not here because they are going to gain a tempo by doing this, right? They have just gained a tempo because we can do it in one, and then their pawn will not be in this place, and it will be our move now, right? But by doing this, same situation, but it's their move, so they gain the tempo. We don't want them to gain the tempo, right? So I think you should take it. I support taking. When I play, I take it. It's a good decision. And now you can play this our chance. We can develop this bishop on the diagonal, and if they try to develop their knight, well and good. And then the ideas are like if they move something like this, then this is the idea. Knight on e5, right? It's attacking this thing, and it's also having a good central location, controlling the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 squares, right? So the knight is best when knight is in middle, and knight is not good when it's somewhere in the corners. Rook are best in open files, and bishop are goods in long diagonals. So everything we have right now, um, they can either come here, we can just sacrifice our knight, right? You can do this. But if you want to save, then you should like to start to think like attacking on the king side, right? Um, by doing this, something like this. So these are the basic ideas. And one more thing that where should this knight go? It's not going to develop like this here because it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous, right? It's not a good. It's not a good way because I don't know. It's just not good. It's just not good, right? Okay, why it's not a good move? Why it's not a good move? Is this? No, it's a bad thing. Is this? Yes, this is the reason. No, this is not the reason. Is this? Um, this okay. They are going to check us. Okay, like it's fine. It's like middle game now, but um, the optimal way to develop this knight is on d2, right? If they play something like this, it's our chance. So we push this pawn one, not two. In this situation, we are we are good. So we should look for something like this. These are the stockfish lines. But if I have to tell you the ideas, you can always go like this because I don't know. This is not a move. If they came here like this, this is the better way to win. This is not a good way. This is not a good way. You want to keep the rook in this file. I don't know, just some stockfish thing. Not a stockfish thing, but this is some idea that I am not able to understand deeply right now. Um, but at this scenario, at this position particular, a4 is the best move. So if you can remember, okay, I'll remember too. So this is the move, but the basic idea is to push this pawn once, and if they do something like this, then develop the knight to d2. And now they do bishop this side, and their plan is to castle, and our plan is to bring the queen to attack this side. If they castle, like if they castle something like that, we can also start pushing the pawns to attack on these pawns, and we have this rook, this queen, and this knight, and this bishop in the diagonal, all attacking the same side. So this is how we play in the bird opening. And now I think there is some information that I think I spoke a lot. It's been 15 minutes. I thought it will be covered in 6 7 minutes. I I started playing the middle game. I think that's why. Okay, okay, that's all. Bye bye.